I bought Jurassic Park on Blu-ray earlier.
Did you not buy it on VHS?
They didn't have it in the shop.
What do they call VHS tapes in England?
VH Winks.
They don't have like a cute name for it. They don't call them tippy tapes for the telly.
Windy tapes.
For the windy box.
No.
I saw that video that you shared with me. I can't remember what show it was, but it was the guy describing like how Americans describe everything for their, like literally anything. Instead of like the bin, it's like the waste paper basket, or the pavement, it's the sidewalk. You know, like the functional names of these things. And
or the classroom is the shooting range.
I fucking hate you so much. I swear to God. All right. Well, I guess we can get started from there. It's a good way to open up the episode with yet another school shooting joke from Sean Walsh. How's it going, buddy?
Yes.
Fair enough. Welcome to the show. If you've never been on a Cult of Comics before, this is a comic book media podcast where we talk about comic book related things. I'm joined by Sean Walsh and Josh Craig.
So
Sean Walsh.
The beginning of the show is just going to be me going, I bought Jurassic Park on Blu-ray earlier.
Yeah.
People click on the video and they're like, oh, what's this going to be? And they just hear me and my British voice go, I bought Jurassic Park earlier. And they're like, okay, I'm quitting out of this now.
Okay, really quick. Since we now know that you are from the same area as Gordon Ramsay, could you do me a favor and then curse me out the way that he does?
You fucking donkey.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. That's fine. If you had done that for the entire show, this entire time we've been doing this show, I would be so much better.
Oh, you big boy, listen.
Yeah, love it. It's so fucking good.
No, I feel like we would lose the kids. Like no kids would want to listen to us after that.
Oh God,
yeah.
Think of the children.
We lose the younger demographic.
I think the younger audience, if they are watching this, they're not going to understand most of the references they understand, like that we say on here. I don't play.
They only watch people like PewDiePie, and I don't know who's on YouTube anymore.
I really don't understand why that guy's famous, like at all. Like that guy's like said a bunch of racial slurs.
We can't pronounce any words today.
I can't. I mean, I'm having my coffee now, so like I told you, I didn't sleep for 48 hours, and I slept for 12 hours following, and I'm just now.
That means you've been awake for 36 hours.
What?
How does that work?
You got 12 hours.
He was
of sleep.
awake for 48, and then he slept 12.
I'm tired. I didn't get 12
See, you're
hours sleep
tired
last
now.
night.
What's happening in this show? I don't even understand what's happening here.
Time difference.
We're off the rails.
I guess.
Daylight savings.
Should we get on Twitch? Do you think that that's like an essential part of like getting onto the internet at this point?
Yeah.
I created it.
Yeah. Twitch plays comic books.
Okay, but we could actually like do a whole thing on like video game, like comic book video games. I don't know. I feel like there's like a missed opportunity there.
Let's just live stream us doing live readings of comics.
Live
You'll play
readings,
different characters.
That's the thing that we want.
I'm going to just pull out Newburn, and then he says, you know, huh and and foo, and then the cell phone goes bring.
Welcome to a bad reading with Josh Craven. It'll be very entertaining. It'll be gold. This is our news episode. We are going to talk about the news of comic book related things in the world of comic books. Today is Sunday, November 7th, 2021, and we are currently I'm tired. Sean's tired. Josh is.
I could take a nap.
November 7th, 2021. 2021's almost over.
I know.
And I still haven't quite processed 2020 yet.
No, I still haven't. Dude, okay. In actuality, though, looking back on 2020, if you look at the shit that happened, so I moved to West Seattle at the beginning of 2020. Shortly thereafter, the pandemic happened. Then shortly thereafter that, the West Seattle Bridge closed. That was the main access for me to get literally anywhere. And they have not repaired it still. It's been almost 2 years entirely.
I've seen a lot of construction go down and finish. In that
it's insane.
It's like there's nobody on the roads. Let's do some construction, guys.
There actually was a crazy amount of protests specifically because of that. Then the George Floyd thing happened. Then 2 dead bodies washed up on the beach near me.
They burned your city to the ground. I forgot about that.
Why couldn't it have been you, Tyler? Why couldn't it?
Fuck you. Did I not tell you guys about the murders that happened? Like
no.
I
remember stuff on like the highways and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So here's what happened. This guy took a man and a woman, and after he killed them, he cut up their bodies and then stuffed them in garbage bags, and then put those garbage bags inside of duffel bags.
That
chucked them
sounds familiar.
Yeah, and
Did
washed
they
up.
find the killer?
They did actually. It took
Okay.
very little time to find the guy. He was an older landlord, and these guys like they missed like 1 month rent, and
That's
I
bullshit.
know it's interesting too, because kind of topical for the time, considering all of everyone's stances towards landlords right now.
For me, like the last year, when you're like driving along a highway and your brain kind of just collapses it down when it's really monotonous, so you don't really remember driving.
Yes.
It sort of deletes it because of how just monotonous it is.
Yeah, you go into kind of like a trance-like state.
Yeah. That's basically in the last year for me, because we've been in and out of lockdown so many times. But just the year felt like it was about 2 months long, because I only remember little details here and there.
Yeah.
And everything else was just
you just kind of come out of your fog to do the podcast, and then you go back in.
Doesn't that suck?
Have you read
we really like have lost a lot of time. Go ahead.
Have you read the Chuck Palahniuk book called Rant?
No.
They do this kind of demolition derby, like underground demolition derby across the city, and they drive together, and it was all about like getting into that kind of trance-like state. And once you're in the trance-like state, you get hit by a car and you basically get thrown out of time. It was like a way for time travel.
I love Chuck Palahniuk. He's such a weird author.
I've read clearing out. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I've read Survivor, Fight Club, and
the Fight Club guy.
Help me out here. Snuff.
Pygmy?
No, I never read Pygmy.
Okay. I love Choke. Snuff.
I never
the movie
actually
Choke. I love that.
I never had the chance to read Choke, but I watched the movie, and so I can't make a comparison between the two.
I went with a buddy to watch Choke, and he brought a girl along that he was into, and we walk in like 5 minutes late to the movie, and there's just the sex scene at the Sex Addicts Anonymous, and she's like, "What the fuck is this shit? You guys brought me to watch porn?" And then she left, and he's like, "I gotta go." And I'm like, "I'm gonna enjoy the movie."
Yeah, it's kind of like that scene in Taxi Driver when he takes her to the porno. She probably felt like that girl.
Yeah.
She's just like, "Fuck, I'm with a serial killer."
Yeah, he probably was. We're not friends anymore.
Probably for good reason.
Yeah,
probably for good reason.
But we were clearing out the freezer outside in the garage, and we were like, "Oh yeah, here's that bread that your dad bought us like right as the pandemic started," and it's just a block of ice has kind of formed around this bread.
That sounds about right.
Like, it's probably time to get rid of this bread. I think we're done.
It's a marker in your time line, and an experience that you've had. You say it's time to throw away the bread, and that's a new chapter of your life is about to begin. So it's funny you bring up Chuck Palahniuk, because the thing that I mentioned earlier about the cancer lady, that which is 100% true. That lady is very obviously going through chemo and still smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Well, I mean, she's like, it's only like putting off the inevitable. I can still smoke.
I mean, I guess, but she's been smoking and going out there since I moved in here, and I see her every single day wearing like the same kitty heels and the same like sachet scarf thing over her head to hide like her loss of hair. But her face is very clearly like bulbous from the amount of chemo and everything. And I specifically wrote that line in the chat about how she looks like a yellow wax poured on a skeleton because of Fight Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking like the Crypt Keeper.
So, well, I figured that must have been your response because of the GIF that you sent.
GIF. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep saying it, calling it that, because I know it pisses people off, and that's what the creator of the
that's your entire modus operandi. Is this pisses people off, I'm gonna do it.
Everyone's justification for it is because it starts with graphics image format, and like the argument of because it starts with graphics that it shouldn't be GIF, but that doesn't really make any sense to me. I think that's a weird justification, and I don't really care. Yeah.
Well, we already have GIF peanut butter.
Yeah. Well, that's the motivation there is choosy moms choose GIFs. That's what that guy said. He said, that's why I want it to be called that, is because I like GIF. I like peanut butter. He's a simple man.
I do get GIF peanut butter. It's good stuff.
Well, you got it for your dog. I like how Sean was like, did he? Yes, he did.
I knew I knew exactly what you were going to say.
To be fair, his dog is adorable. I would never imply anything bad about that beautiful dog. I didn't know you have two dogs.
We have two dogs.
They look
Yeah,
very
Mini
cute with their
Australian
mouth
Shepherd.
full.
That's my profile picture. And then we have a just a mix of all sorts of junk husky.
A mix of all sorts of junk husky. I like that. Junk husky.
Yeah, well,
How is your husky?
they found her mom wandering in the woods, and they're like, "We found a lost dog, and we'll take her home." And then a couple weeks later, it's like, "Oh, this dog is pregnant. Okay, who wants who
Pegante?
wants puppies?" Pregante, yeah, Pergonant.
Pergonance?
Yeah.
I'm glad you've seen that.
And then they were like, do you want a dog? And my wife was like, I'll take a girl dog. And then we got the only one. And she's like half husky. There's like some black lab or Shih Tzu. I don't know.
That's a very big difference. That's not the same
I
dog
know.
in the slightest.
They're like, all the dogs are kind of varying in size. Some of them are just massive huskies, and other ones, she's kind of on the smaller side.
Mm.
But they did like a blood test for one of them. They're like, we think there might have been like two dads, two different dogs, got on that while she was out in the wild.
Is that possible? I mean, I've heard of that like happening very, very, very rarely in the wild. Yeah. There was a story of a lady who had twins and they were completely different fathers. And like that was such a absurd.
Yeah, I mean, you can like drop two eggs at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
or near each other. Yeah,
it's just science is weird, man. It's a fascinating experience. I guess we should talk about comic books now, huh? We probably like get back on this.
Fair.
I guess we could. That's the thing we should do. All right. Well, let's talk about what's going on in the world of comic books. In the news, we have a big bit of news. First off, Image workers have formed a union, and Image has responded in turn. Now, this is interesting because according to the article that has been shared by Josh, Image Comics
article,
it's Image Comics has refused to voluntarily recognize the union. The first union of its kind said the outpouring of support so far has been terrific, but we need to keep the momentum going. So what's going on here, man?
So I mean, Image is like, we're gonna let you guys do your thing, but we're not gonna voluntarily, I guess you have the option of voluntarily recognizing them as a union. Like, okay, you're a union now. But they're like, okay, you want to be a union, go through the steps, petition it, do the vote, whatever.
Okay.
So we're going to make you guys go kind of the long way around instead of just automatically saying, okay. But it seems like the folks that would form the Image union are basically already a majority of the folks that would be part of the union. So it seems like an unnecessary step to make them go through.
It does. I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah.
I
kind of get like, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like they hate it, but they're going to make them do the work to get it.
It seems like they kind of hope they'll fail.
I mean, a little bit, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just, it strikes me as very strange because Image they've prided themselves on the basis of they were created to be different from DC and Marvel. And then they keep doing
they
DC
want
Marvel stuff.
Their money, they want their artist integrity, but these are not artists forming the union. These are I guess you would call them kind of the essential staff in the background.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pro union regardless.
I don't know if this includes editors, but you have accountants, people in the just the general staff.
Yeah. No, I mean, I picked up on that. It's a pretty simple read, I guess, but I don't know. I guess it's just a strange thing to see that there's any kind of like pushback whatsoever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only sort of real complaint I've seen about their demands is apparently they're asking for some control over what they publish.
Oh yeah, we want the right to not have to have our names put on certain, if we choose we don't like this writer or artist, we want the option to not to have our names attached to this.
Like, is this a way to remove their name from being associated from people like EBS or like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the kind of people they had in mind was like, oh, if you end up publishing something from, I think maybe it was more about Warren Ellis. Like, I guess they objected to him after all of the
when he announced the return of, was it Trees? He announced the return of something.
No, it was something else.
Was
something with Ben Temple Smith, maybe.
Was it the Wildstorm stuffs that he said that he was going to be doing again?
No. This is something at Image. He was finishing off.
Yeah, some other series that had been long running, but they're getting back to doing it. Like, they're going back to Hickman's going back to what, Black Monday Murders or something.
Okay. At the end of the Vice article, there is an update that after the story was published, Comic Book Workers United reached out with a new statement. As of 5 p.m. today, this is what it reads. As of 5 p.m. today, Image has failed to formally acknowledge our request for voluntary recognition, and we are internalizing that lack of response, coupled with a Twitter post the company made indicating their intention to take this to the NLRB for a vote as a denial of our request. This is disappointing, given that 10 of the 12 eligible staff members have already voted to form and go public with the union, but we are strong in our principles and the election changes nothing. That said, it is not too late for voluntary recognition to happen. Supporters can help us achieve our goal by continuing to email, write to, tweet at, and otherwise request that Image voluntarily recognize the Comic Book Workers United.
So it's 10 of 12 people that would have been part of the union. It's a very small union.
Well,
maybe they hope to grow across,
Well,
other
one of their demands is they
publishers.
want more staff because they said they're very short staffed at the minute. They're doing responsibilities that aren't part of their job. They want more clarification on what their roles should be, as well as not having other responsibilities put on them, because their job titles at the minute are very broad.
They also want the option to work from home.
Yeah.
Which, if you're working at a printer, you don't really have that option. But if these are guys that are just like working in the background for,
like, the accountant doesn't need to go in unless, for certain points, I got to look at the books and I can't access those from home. I don't know.
But I mean, you and I are kind of, well, I'm going to be going into a field where I'm going to be working from home pretty regularly. Do you work from home pretty regularly now? Yeah. So like, it's not unheard of.
I'm right here. I do everything right here. And
well, I mean, you work in tech. I mean, it's not that. I mean, what do you do? Do you like look at code all day, make updates, etc.?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Code.
Sure, why not?
Or just sure. Yeah, I'll just bullshit my way through this.
Yeah, I work. I have a job. I get employed for.
I do the maths.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried getting into code. It's a challenge, but I mean, you're not the first person I've seen that's working in tech doing the same thing at this point. So, I mean, if they're able to, I don't see why that's an issue,
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, you're saving money on rental property anyways, so fuck it.
I mean, the company would. Yeah, they don't need to have the office to put people up in there, but
yeah, exactly. So it's
you just need to be able to watch people. You really like that button seat action.
Yeah. It's the illusion of getting actual work done because you see it getting done,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's the whole
thing.
They
want you in the office for control more than anything.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know that's bullshit. None of us like actually going into the office.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've gotten in trouble in the past because I don't look busy.
I hate
look like
that
you're
mentality.
Not doing anything.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm getting my stuff done.
I mean, if you get the job done and if you have something to turn in at the end of the day or the week, I mean,
you don't look stressed out enough. You don't look like you're rushing.
Yeah. You just do what George Costanza did. He had a really good point. If you just look annoyed and stressed all the time, they leave you alone.
That's so much energy, though.
It is. It's a lot of acting. It's just not worth it at that point.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the world of comic books? We've got news that the Bone Orchard Mythos universe by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino has been announced.
Well, it was announced last week, but we've had more clarification on what it's going to be.
Okay, go on,
please. So it's a shared universe of different stories. They said it's not linked to Primordial or
Black Hammer.
No, Primordial or Gideon Falls. It's its own new thing. It's basically Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' Criminal, but like the horror equivalent of it. Whereas a load like sort of interconnecting stories in this world.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so there's going to be like a graphic novel. There's going to be a series.
Yeah. The first one they're releasing at the beginning of next year or spring next year is going to be a hardcover graphic novel. Then the next one they said is going to be a 6 to 8 issue miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they'll see.
What's funny about this is... Go ahead.
It seems to be all the rage now. We got Geiger. We got this. We've got 3 Worlds, 3 Moons. That's forming up.
Yeah. But so the first one I've got here is a 100-page hardcover called Passageway. And then that's summer 2022. In the fall of 2022, we have the beginning of an 6 to 8 part miniseries called 10,000 Black Feathers. And then there's the hardcover Tenement for 2023.
It's interesting to me that this is such a push from Image at this point, because I mean, as you guys know, I mean, we talked about this last year. I mean, Comicsgate people have been pushing that, you know, the industry is going to start going under. They're going to stop doing singles, and they're going to start just pushing for, you know, trade paperbacks and graphic novels. Meanwhile, Image is actually pushing for graphic novel hardcovers, you know, books.
They've been evolving. Everybody's been evolving.
Well, I feel like Image is really at the top tier of that, because when you put out good quality content, I mean, Brubaker is a great example of that. You get to have more options, and you get to have, you know, the Reckless series, you get the Pulp book that came out.
Yeah.
You
there
get a lot
seems
of
to be
options.
only like a few creators doing it. I feel like the Brubaker one was his choice to do it.
Well,
more
it
than
was.
Image's push.
You're not wrong, but I feel like Image is kind of following suit in a lot of ways, because I think that they recognize that as much as obviously they want to keep the singles, they're still recognizing that there's a really big market for the actual just like collected books themselves. And instead of just pushing out the single issues, they can have a market for the collected like book editions, instead of just pushing for, you know, chapter by chapter by chapter.
Yeah. And they're bringing in, you know, they're always bringing in new people that have been working at DC or Marvel or somewhere, and they're trying out, you know, kind of copying similar formats.
Yeah.
Like with Geiger, we have the giant sized issue that's kind of I don't want to call it like kitschy, but it's kind of copying a certain format that you might see for an annual or a special one-off issue kind of thing.
Well, that
and you don't normally see Image doing that.
No, you really don't. But that's also because, I mean, it's Geoff Johns, and Geoff Johns is absolutely in love with the Silver Age.
It's his Mad Ghost production thing. So it's like, it's basically like Skybound X kind of, whereas this little like teaser of all Skybound's books.
Yeah. One of the things about Johns in the first place is he loves the Silver Age of comic books, but he wants to bring that energy to the modern age. And that's the reason why he tells the stories he does. But he also
could do is do like more prestige format, or any kind of prestige format comics like DC's been getting back into.
I actually was going to bring that up next. I was going to say that a lot of what DC seems to be doing, like other history of the DC universe, you know, is a really good example of there's a market for that. Why wouldn't I pick that up? Yeah, it's a little oversized and it's kind of awkward, but I mean, it sits on my bookshelf just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, they fit the size of the Golden Age comic book bags and boards. You know, I mean, it's not like it's going to be an issue too much for storage. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to get a Golden Age, you know, bin to put everything in, because I just don't have any Golden Age anything. So, but
all my probably get a short box and just turn it sideways. Get enough of those.
I mean, yeah.
All my like Prestige Plus ones are just going on the bookshelf behind me.
Yeah.
Because there's not really enough to.
I wanted to let you know this, by the way. I've been having some debates with a lot of people in my comic book store about how you organize your comic books. And I will have you know that a vast majority of people are in agreement with me that that is a very strange way to organize your comic books. Front, back.
Oh, that.
I see it. I understand it.
No, I understand it. I'm just saying it's a strange way to do it, because I'm not gonna put 1, 2 backwards, 3, 4 backwards. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Does it?
Because in my box right now, it sort of starts to arc after a while.
Okay, well, let me put it this way.
You get kind of heavy to one side and light on the other.
Here's my
spines get moved around.
I'm not arguing the physics of it. I completely see the logic behind that. But that's only if you're doing it without bags and boards. If you're putting them in bags and boards.
I am putting bags and boards. It still ends up that way. Okay, here's the other question. When you put them front, you know, that in that direction, do you put them all like one comic book per bag and board? Yes.
That's, you could be saving so much. Okay, if you are going to do that,
you have comics that are thin enough to put 2 comics in with one bag and board.
Yeah, actually.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's how I had my collection of Green Lantern Corps shipped to me, was front back. It's in the
same. Well, that's fine. Then you don't have to do it the way that I do it. If you're doing, you know,
bags
2
are
and 1.
too tight for 2 in there.
Yeah. You can just gotta stretch it out. Sean, you know how to do that.
What you think?
I've never had
Sean's
that
just
issue
out there
before.
like stretching the condom out and just.
Oh, no, I'm talking about his condom. I'm not even talking about his penis.
Oh, I thought you were trying to use some sort of euphemism.
I am. Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else for comics. All right. What is this? Artists Elite Comics, founded by Kirkman.
Tyler Kirkman, L.A. Garza, and Sean
Kirkham.
Huddick.
It's Kirkham.
Oh, right. You've only heard
Kirkham.
of one of these people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It says A-list creators launch new publisher, and I've heard of one of them, and I'd put him as a B-list at the highest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand where this is like coming from. I'm going to say
the
good
New
for him.
Image Comics.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like we've had a few new publishers over the last few years. We had Boom, we've had AWA Upshot, we've had Vault, and now Artist Elite Comics. But we've got a list of creators that are going to be doing work there. So we've got Tyler Kirkham, Brett Booth, Ben Templesmith, Ryan Benjamin. I'm just naming ones I know. Boss Logic, John Boy Myers, and more.
Yeah, I don't know anybody outside of Kirkham.
Booth,
Oh, yeah, I do know them.
Ben
Yeah.
Templesmith.
And this
I wasn't
this
actually
logo
paying
looks
attention
like
to I'm gonna
something
be
you
honest
would.
with you.
This Artist Elite Comics logo kind of looks like a biker gang kind of.
Yeah, a tattoo shop.
Yeah. There's nothing on their website.
I just don't
It's
understand
new.
why they're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like they have a plan.
Should've just done like a imprint on Image or something.
Something. I don't know. I don't
Let's
know.
see
What do
what's
you
in
guys think?
shop.
The Ben
Continue
Templesmith
shopping.
cover looks quite cool. I don't know what it is, but just the cover, the aesthetic looks very cool. I'll send it to you guys.
I just think it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah,
The last-
it would.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that is Ben Templesmith right there.
yeah, but yeah, just it might be a bit like AWA where I just pick up stuff based on
Yeah.
creators and just sort of see what holds me.
I mean, it's definitely like Ben Templesmith, but it doesn't look like his best work. It seems like this
Oh.
is more of a quick drawing for him.
His work in the Authority one shot this week was kind of rough as well.
I mean, it's not that bad. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it looks like a child's drawing, but it's just the coloring is really good.
Well, I don't know what to
Maybe a
think of
teenager.
that because, like, I mean, he's definitely he's drawn this way for years. This is the same stuff that I saw with his.
I've not really read much, if anything, by
Gotham
him.
by Midnight,
30 Days of
in
Night.
Grand, 30 Days of Night. Yeah, 30 Days of Night is rougher though.
Yeah, it's a lot rougher.
It's intended to be rough though.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, what was the name of that story that he did about the werewolves inside of the insane asylum?
I don't know that one.
I can't think of it at the moment, but when I do, I'll have to get back to you on that. I remember being introduced to Ben Templesmith because of 30 Days of Night, and then I just happened to find a series of his comics at a store one day, and I just was like, for all of it. He's been away for some time, or at least out of the limelight from what I can recall. I haven't seen anything like really big that he's done outside of this week's Superman and the Authority. I mean, am I missing something here?
Mhm. I don't know. Back when he did 10 grand, he had to step out like halfway through and they brought another artist in. That was kind of weird.
What the hell is this? It's I'm gonna find it. I swear to God. Ah, that's what it was. Welcome to Hoxford. Do you remember that one at all? That was like one of my first introductions to him as well.
I don't think I've heard of it.
So it's a really fucking weird one. It's like I said, it's about werewolves going into an insane asylum. I'm looking at the artwork right now. Yeah, I mean his art really hasn't changed that much from what we're seeing in the chat right now.
Yeah. The last thing on his Wikipedia is Gotham by Midnight from 2014.
Jeez. It's forever ago.
Well, maybe somebody just hasn't updated the Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia doesn't get updated very often.
Let me see. Sure it does. Let me see the edit history.
Do you guy know who Jason Fleming is?
Yeah, I
The
like that
actor.
actor.
Yeah. Okay, you guys are really gonna like this. Then I'm gonna send this to the chat. Watch this later. A fan, I don't know who made this, but somebody made an actual short film revolving around Welcome to Oxford with that actor. It's fantastic. I love everything.
Oh,
about
it is him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not in enough stuff. I love him.
Yeah, I think between him and Vision.
Oh, the actor who plays Vision.
Yeah.
Oh,
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. That's it. Between him, Paul Bettany, and Doug Jones. I think Doug Jones and Paul Bettany are probably just like eating his lunch. Called a tall, lanky guys.
Tall, lanky British dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Alrighty. Well, what else is going on in the news? What's going on in the news, boys?
I think. Well, that's about it. No, we still have some other comic stuff that we can talk about.
What else?
There was the Gunslinger Spawn variant cover.
Oh yes.
So that was it was 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So Gunslinger Spawn was supposed to come out like October 20th. And on the 19th, Todd McFarlane was informed that one of the variant covers didn't get printed or shipped off. So he's being told like the day before, your Gunslinger Spawn is supposed to come out, one of your covers just didn't get printed.
Okay, so it's just the variant.
Sorry to tell you
my
that.
shop definitely got Gunslinger Spawn.
Well, he
It came out a week
made
later,
a plea. Yeah, he made a plea on the 20th. Well, the 19th. On the 19th, he's like, I just found this out, and you guys need to, wait a week to, put them out on the shelf.
Is that your impression of Todd McFarlane?
Yeah.
You got to do a little more of a lisp, and then you've got.
I know. I was like, I know I need to put the lisp in here, but it's not working.
It's hard because the reason why he has it is because of the structure of his teeth, and like that's it.
Yeah, he
It's not
sounds
even
like
like
he's had a stroke.
His tongue is too big for his face.
Well, you know what they say about a man with a big tongue.
Tyler likes.
No, you know what they say about his wife.
What does she?
She's a happy lady.
I knew that's what it was going to be.
I mean, look at Todd McFarlane. You telling me that smiling man, for a fact that he makes his wife happy. Look at that face.
I bet Rob
I feel like he's
wife's
pissed off a lot. He seems like he would be a guy that gets really angry about a lot of stuff.
He does
actually strike me as that.
Yeah, like he's got some anger issues secretly.
He's like, just let me do my fucking art.
Yeah, a little bit. I could see that. I don't know. Oh, do we have any updates about the Spawn TV show, by the way?
No. I don't know.
I thought that I could have.
Was there a TV show coming?
Well, yeah, a movie for like HBO.
That's what it was. It was a movie.
Yeah. He's insisting he's directing it, and he's like, oh, it turns out studio don't want to give a $300 million budget to a first-time director.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I would be curious to see him do it just for the meme of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I think going back to the Gunslinger Spawn, like, you're like one of the top guys at Image, and you're only being told like the day before your comic comes out that there was a problem with the printing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small problem, but still being told like, oh yeah, one of your covers didn't get printed off in time.
Wait a minute. I just looked at this, and it looks like he's still writing and directing the film with Jamie Foxx.
When was the last time it was updated?
Let me double check on that. Hang on. Keep going. I'm looking up for it.
Yeah. But you think he would be like kept in the loop on that? Or maybe he doesn't want to be kept in the loop. Who knows? I don't know who takes care of the shipping or what
He's
does.
just off playing with his action figures.
Actually, that's a good question to ask. Who ships out the Image comic books? Is it still Diamond?
Diamond, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the distributors. I don't know who prints. There's like smaller places that print stuff. I don't know if Diamond does the printing.
It looks like it's still in development. I'm gonna
development
do a quick
hell.
search. Probably.
Yeah, development
Spawn,
hell.
Jamie Foxx. What's happening with the Spawn reboot? Updated the beginning of this year. No.
Oh, maybe he's like, you've got all of these different Spawn comics coming out. They're just trying to reignite the flame for a lot of people. See, people like Spawn. Now we can go make the movie.
Do people like Spawn?
I don't know.
I mean,
I've never read any
it's
Spawn.
It's too old for me.
it's done well enough that it's continued on for 300 plus issues. I mean,
True.
there's obviously an audience for it somewhere.
I would
Yeah.
check it out, but like I don't know if there's any good jumping on points or what. Because I'm not reading.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
going
if I
back
would
to
ever
issue
jump
one.
on at some spot. I think I'd want to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
honestly,
then you have to catch up on 300 issues, and it's just
well,
I know.
I don't know. From the stuff that I can remember reading, I feel like you can hop on like a story arc and be fine. There was the last thing I read was the last time I read Angela in the comics, and
before she moved over to Marvel.
yeah. Mostly, I wanted to check it out because I wanted to see Greg Capullo do Spawn because he's fucking amazing. So, updated August. Jamie Foxx is still interested, and he's still apparently his name is still tied to it.
Yeah. I didn't see this thing earlier. Sean, you have in here that Todd McFarlane started a TV production unit.
Yeah. One of them is I don't remember the names of the things. Let me find it. But one is basically going to be Robot Chicken, but with his own action figures.
Oh, right, yeah. He's just like, I'm gonna play with my toys.
Yeah.
And you guys film.
So there's McFarland, which is the action figure one.
Yeah.
And the other is Thumbs, which is based on a comic series by Sean Lewis.
Oh, I thought it was like the Angry Orange kind of stuff, like the Thumb whatever YouTuber.
No.
I remember Thumbs being released, but I never read it.
So Thumbs was the comic, not the YouTube, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we talk about the Taika Waititi thing?
Yeah. So Taika Waititi is adapting Jodorowskys The Incal, which all the news articles I see refer to it as the best known graphic novel of all time. I've never heard of it.
Nope.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm more familiar with the Meta Barons. I forgot that they were related to each other.
I don't know.
Like, oh, they're going to do the Incal. They should do the Meta Barons. Meta Barons is spun off from the Incal. Incal.
It's just weird they refer to it as the best known graphic novel of all time, despite the fact that
Well, you've got people like where is it? I just had all the reviews. Shit. Mark Millar called it quite simply one of the most perfect comics ever conceived and probably the most beautiful piece of graphic literature ever drawn.
The Incal?
Yeah. I gotta check it out at some point.
I've never heard of it before, and I'm very confused.
I have, but it's it's French. It's Jodorowsky. I was just thinking that it's published by Humanoids. That's where I got that Millennium comic from. There's a lot of good French comics out there, but Meta Barons, the Techno Priest, and Megalex all spun off from the Incal. So it started in the 80s. There's after the Incal in 2000, and then final Incal 2008 to 2014.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking of like the Incans.
Maybe that's
like
the point.
The Mayans. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys see this fairly regularly, but
Epic space opera.
We don't see your
like
ceiling very often.
Pounding something like up above me. Sorry.
He's banging a dead body.
Probably. There is Tom Taylor made an interesting point on Twitter about this, which is artists seem to be ignored whenever somebody's hyping up the story about something. They're always like, oh, it was created by Jodorowsky. Dude, Mobius fucking did the art on this book.
Yeah.
And has been completely ignored.
I was reading about the Incal and I'm like, wait a minute. Jodorowsky's still alive. He's like 92, but he's still alive. Why is nobody interviewing him and seeing what he thought of Dune or anything like that?
Yeah. Or, well, I mean, it's not like Mobius is like an unknown name either. So it's just a strange series of weird choices. It's like when people try to say Powers created by Brian Michael Bendis. And it's like, well, no, there's like a team there. Or
Or Spider-Man created by Stan Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, but I saw someone post a picture of like the opening of Eternals, and it says based on the comic created by Jack Kirby.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it essentially was just a Jack Kirby project.
It was,
Yeah.
but it's just nice to see his name finally on the big screen of MCU,
Yeah.
and not like as a tiny little footnote in the like scrolling back black credits at the end. No, it's like in the like opening bit when it's doing all the sort of intro. It's like based on the comic by Jack Kirby.
Can
It's
I
like,
ask you guys your opinion on something really quick, specifically tied to Jack Kirby? Somebody online made a post saying that Jack Kirby was the one who actually created all of the Marvel universe. Thoughts?
Yes, I agree.
In what
Stan
way?
Lee,
Like
such a vague.
Like to say that all these superheroes reside in the same world.
That's
No,
what I'm
just
saying. Is go ahead.
Stan Lee would basically give the artist like such a vague outline of the character. Like he went to Steve Ditko and was like, I've got an idea for like this guy with like spider powers. And Steve Ditko came up with the costume, the setting, the character of Peter Parker, the villains. He created that world, and it's just Stan Lee's Spider-Man.
See, I didn't know that. I knew Steve Ditko, Ditko was like really responsible for a hefty portion, but I didn't know that he like designed the villains.
No, and as well, have you heard about how the original Marvel comics were written?
The original ones? No.
The artist would draw the story, plot the story, come up with like everything in it, and then they'd give it to Stan Lee, who would just fill in the dialogue boxes.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. Jack Kirby even used to write his own dialogue for it, and Stan Lee would scribble it out and write his own.
Really?
Yeah.
That's I need to do some more research into this because this seems fucky.
Yeah, don't go wrong. Stan Lee brought attention to it. Like he was a great figure, like public figure for the company.
For some reason, when I know it's only one character that he's created, but when I think of Jack Kirby, I think of Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, he created all the new gods. He created like the comic version of Thor, Captain America.
But like he's more like he's done some stuff for DC, but he's more associated with Marvel. When I think of Jack Kirby, like the first thing that pops into my head is Mr. Miracle.
He created fucking Darkseid.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah, Etrigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Etrigan. Yeah, it was Kirby.
Yeah,
Ditko did something.
Ditko did the question. The question. Yeah.
And Blue Beetle.
Yes. Ditko was a psycho. Ditko was a weirdo.
He imagine creating Spider-Man and then dying alone in your New York apartment with no money to your name.
I mean, look, that's the same thing that happened with Bill Finger.
Yeah, 100%.
But when I say that he was a psycho, what I mean is that when he quit comics, he did it because he thought that he wasn't a strong enough conservative Republican. Like he was like, I'm not further right enough. I need to be the best.
It was
conservative.
A different time.
Is it?
I mean, what? When was this? Like 70s, 80s?
70s.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I remember once that Jonathan Ross he was pressing Stan Lee in an interview for answers. He was like, did Steve Ditko create Spider-Man? And Stan Lee was giving a businessman answer where he was like, oh, well, without Steve Ditko, Spider-Man could never have been what he was. And it's like, well, did he create it? And he just was not answering the question. And Jonathan Ross, fair play to him, was like pushing the point, and then the interview sort of got stopped.
Ditko died in 2018. So it wasn't like he died young or anything. He died at 90 years old.
But he had no money to his name when he died.
Did he? I thought that he was making
Jack
a lot of
Kirby
profit.
died
I don't know.
He was like 77, I think. He died in 94. I was just looking that up.
I don't know. Let's find out. Personal life and death.
I wanted to clarify one thing that, Dune is by Frank Herbert, but this adaptation of Dune they were trying to do based off of Jodorowsky's adaptation of Dune back in like the 70s or so. So they were inspired to do this Dune based off of that. So it seemed like maybe they would try and interview Jodorowsky just to see how he felt about them taking inspiration from his adaptation to make this movie.
What did he do?
Who, Jodorowsky?
Jodorowsky Dune.
Jodorowsky's Dune was like first kind of trying to adapt it to the screen.
I see now. Yeah, 1974.
There's like a whole documentary about it.
So apparently he said in 2012 that he had no income for the first 4 Spider-Man films released to that time in 2012. But a neighbor of his said that he was receiving royalty checks for Spider-Man.
This is Ditko?
Yeah. So he was getting paid, but he wasn't getting paid for the films, it looks like. Interesting.
Yeah, like you can easily research the original Marvel stuff, and the way the comics were written by the artist is public knowledge. Like, they've never tried to hide it.
Yeah.
It's called the Marvel style of writing books, and DC copied it a few years ago of their New Age of DC Heroes, where they put like the artists at like the front line of their books. But yeah, like these people were like imperative in creating these characters. Like Steve Ditko did Doctor Strange as well. Like Jack Kirby created the Avengers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It was even his idea because there was a printing delay with Daredevil. So they had a gap for 1 month, and he was like, well, why don't we just make a book with all these characters teaming up? And it was his idea to do it. And yet Stan Lee's the one with all the cameos in the movies and the one everyone knows.
Well, that's, you get Steve Jobs out on stage to introduce the technology. You don't get Wozniak out there to talk about, here's our iPhone and it works and it's good.
Yeah, like Bill Finger as well. Have you seen the original designs of Batman before Bill Finger?
God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's in like a skin tight red suit with like wings.
A domino mask.
Yeah, domino mask and wings.
Yeah.
Whereas Bill Finger came up with like the Batcave, the Batmobile, the actual costume, Robin, Joker. It was all Bill Finger.
Is it just me, or is it kind of weird that there's a parallel there where it was, in the case of Bill Finger and Bob Kane, the artist, had the idea and then wanted to conceptualize it, and Bill Finger, the writer, was the one who came up with all the stuff, and then switch that around and you've got Stan Lee, the writer, saying, I want to make this character, and Ditko was the artist who was like, no, we're going to do this. According to this Wikipedia page that I'm looking at right now, Stan Lee's idea had him like carrying around a gun that shot webs instead of like the shooters that he has on his wrist later.
Yeah.
And that he had a ring that would turn him into Spider-Man.
So the Flash ring.
Basically.
Yeah. Green Lantern ring.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I do believe these creators need to be known for their work.
Yeah.
And it's like, as well, Marvel kind of fucks over their creators with royalties. Like, Len Wein got paid more for the Lucius Fox appearance in the Dark Knight trilogy than he did for all the Wolverine and X-Men movies.
That's fucked up.
He created Wolverine, Storm, a couple of others, and he got paid next to nothing for them.
That's
Jim
ridiculous.
Starlin made Thanos. I don't quite agree with Ed Brubaker wanting more money for creating Winter Soldier when he didn't really.
Conceptualizing the idea of the Winter Soldier, because did he invent the Winter Soldier name and the backstory and everything? Sure. Did he invent Bucky? No. But I think that there's like an argument to be made there about like,
there is an argument there, but it's not as cut and dry as like the creating Wolverine type thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I mean, I'm looking at this right now and it looks like you're completely right that Ditko like conceptualized and thought up most of this stuff. However, it looks like Lee's collaboration with Ditko was what developed Octopus, Doc Ock, Sandman, Lizard, Electro, Green Goblin, etc.
But yeah, the artist literally wrote the story, and Stan Lee would fill in the word balloons.
It's just weird. Is it really just because
he famously got the characters' names wrong as well. He kept calling Peter Parker the wrong name.
What?
Yeah. He claims he had a terrible memory and couldn't get the characters' names right. In so many of the early issues, there's just wrong names, characters that don't exist.
Do we know how well Larry Lieber was paid?
Any relation to Steve Lieber?
No, he's Stan Lee's younger brother.
Oh, is he the one that's currently suing Marvel?
No, co-created Iron Man, Thor, and Ant-Man, but he's
What?
the artist and writer.
I didn't know that. Do I know anything about comics anymore? Is my life a lie? I don't know.
It could be.
Well, talking to you makes me feel it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, let's move on to something else.
Sure.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, what is this? The Book of Boba Fett is then announced for Disney Plus, I'm assuming?
Yes, this is the new.
Did you not
Boba
watch
Fett
the
series.
trailer, Caesar?
Nope.
Had to have been a trailer because that just
Yeah.
It's coming out in like a month and a half.
Sure.
It looks lit.
It looks
so
lit.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. What is the actor's name?
Tamara Morrison, something like that.
Timuro. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah. It looks cool. I like he was badass when he showed up in Mandalorian.
Yeah. Man, I just looked
I
up
love
the
that
guy's
show despite
name
what
that
Tyler
played
says.
the original actor for Boba Fett.
Oh,
Who was under the mask.
Yeah.
Something Thompson or something. I thought it would have been interesting if he found his way, like, just to make an appearance or something.
Is he still alive?
In this.
I thought he died a few years ago.
Yeah. No, he's still alive. I just looked it up the other day.
Jeremy Bulloch.
Empire Strikes Back. That's it.
He died at 75. He died
No,
He died 18th of December 2020.
I don't think that's the right guy.
I'm looking at it right now,
Hold on.
Josh.
I don't think you are.
Josh is questioning your own reality.
He died December of last year. I don't fucking know. I thought
Didn't
he
you
was
even
still
know?
alive.
No.
I must have looked up the wrong guy.
And breaking news, Josh is starting to slowly lose his mind.
He is a dinosaur.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. All the Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus is very exciting.
Yeah.
Whereas the movies are terrible. If you want to hear us talk
Yeah.
about the movies a bit more, go check out last week's episode where me and Tyler just three fists about Last Jedi.
Yeah, and about how you're just wrong and you have bad opinions on Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that fans agree that's one of the worst movies.
Let's
You mean
just
those
have,
same fans that argue about
Felina
how
do
like
a,
racist
what's the
comments
guy's
towards
last name?
Rose, or like the same ones who said that they didn't want literally a woman in the lead, or the same ones?
Oh,
who were
just
like,
wait.
"You're
You'll
ruining
get all
Star
sorts
Wars."
of. We got like 2 more news articles to cover. We're gonna get all sorts of racist stuff out of Sean for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. So let's first talk about Todd McFarlane has launched a TV
We
production
already
unit.
spoke
What is
about
this?
that. We already spoke
We
about
did.
that.
We spun that out of the
Robot
Gunslinger
chicken.
Spawn discussion.
Oh yeah, you did. My bad. Yeah, that's looks whatever. Well, let's talk about Eternals. Sean, tell us, why is it that you hate gays and blacks?
Oh, where do I begin?
He loves the blacks.
But do you like gay blacks?
I have a black friend. Gay blacks. That's not a real thing.
Wow. Okay.
Imagine wanting to be persecuted 2 different ways.
Yep. I
Would
mean,
you,
because
though?
being black and gay is the choice. You're completely right.
No, I've not seen this movie yet. I'm going to. I hope I enjoy it.
Eternals maybe 48% on the tomato meter, but it's 81% on the audience
Tomatometer.
score.
You will call it
Tomatometer. That's it.
tomatometer.
Yeah. I think these critics went in wanting a Chloe Zhao film, and they're like, wait a minute. This
And
is the Marvel film.
It's got a 6.9 on IMDb as well, which it'll go down
That's
after a few weeks because it always drops. But it's higher than Thor, Dark World, and Captain Marvel at this point.
Captain Marvel is that low?
6.8 it's got.
Oh no, 6.8.
I thought Captain Marvel got way too much hate. It was a decent movie.
Yeah, it was a decent film.
Yeah. Was it?
I don't think it deserved half the
amazing?
hate that it got.
No, definitely not.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah.
like
I thought Samuel L. Jackson was great in it.
Clark Gregg too, and
Yeah.
I can see the frustration with the reveal about how Sam Jackson got his,
Oh yeah,
or
I
Nick Fury
hated
got his.
that.
I thought it
A
was
little
funny.
underwhelming, but it's still funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately,
It's like,
what they're
you
doing
treated
is
this, you treated this as like this big, like you kept it close to the chest. Like I just don't want to talk about it. It was a tough
Although in
battle
Winter
or
Soldier, he
whatever.
was like, "Oh, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye."
Yeah.
yeah.
Just really, making
Yeah.
it sound more than it was. Like you don't want to tell people that this creature that sometimes looks like a cat, a blurrigan or whatever, scratched your face, and that was it. You just got like a bad infection.
That was just kind of the weakest part of the movie for me. But I thought on the whole, Captain Marvel was good. Thor: Dark World it's a watchable movie.
Forgettable.
It's There's some fun action scenes in it. There's a few scenes where I laugh.
It's all what is it, Sean Bean? It's all Sean Bean's fault.
He's not in it.
He's not in it at all.
He's the director.
No, he's not.
No, that's Alan
Who's the
Taylor who
director?
directed Dark World.
What?
This is the Irish dude who was
Kenneth
the
Branagh.
villain in yeah.
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth
did,
Branagh. That's who I was trying to
he
think
did
of.
The first one.
No, he did. He
Yeah, that's
produced the
it.
second one and directed, I think, the second
First one.
Did he direct the second one?
He directed the first one. Alan Taylor directed the second one.
Okay. Well, I got
so he must have
the
produced
wrong
the
guy
second one.
mixed up with the wrong movie. Can't blame me.
Yeah,
I can
Alan
blame you a little
Taylor,
bit.
who also directed Terminator Genesis and The Saints of Newark,
Oh yeah, he should just stop.
and a couple of episodes of Game of Thrones, including the Pitch Black one.
Oh yeah, he should just stop.
The one of
Come
just
on, Sean Bean and
people
Kenneth
running
Branagh
across
look
the
very
dark
much
screen.
alike.
No, they do not look anything alike whatsoever. You are just generalizing two people from the UK.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it. I just have face blindness.
One
for
was in
people
Lord
from
of the Rings
UK.
and one was in Harry Potter.
Are you sure they weren't both in Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter?
I'm sure Sean Bean wasn't in Harry Potter and Kenneth Branagh wasn't in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Chicago Sun
Have
Times,
you guys
The
seen-
Observer
the
in
same
the
guy?
UK, The New
It's the same
Yorker,
guy.
Film
Have you
Week,
guys seen
Independent
Afterlife with
UK,
the
Should I
Jokes?
See It, Seattle Refined, CBC News, Daily Express, all
Tyler, shut
talking
the fuck
about how
up.
bad this goddamn movie is.
Have you guys seen
Yeah.
Afterlife with Ricky Gervais?
No one cares about that show.
Oh no, there's one bit where he goes to someone's house for like a news report and it's
No
like,
one
so
cares.
why are we here? And it's like, oh, I've got a water stain on the wall that looks like Kenneth Branagh.
You should watch Snowpiercer. Sean Bean's good in that.
Snowpiercer's on the list.
He's not. I will hurt you.
Is he not in that movie?
No.
Okay, I've not
No,
seen
the
it.
TV show Snowpiercer.
Oh,
Yeah,
Anyway.
take the wind out of your sails. That's on the list still,
Oh.
isn't it?
I hope
Oh,
this
yeah,
movie's
he's
Both
good.
on the list. The show is good. The movie is fantastic. But the show is
Yeah.
definitely entertaining.
No, but I mean, I hope Eternals is good. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
my own mind up for it.
Well, before you decided to be
I
an
thought
asshole,
Sean had already made his mind up.
I just go with whatever's popular.
I'm looking at the top critics reviews for Eternals right now, and they're all just not good. Observer, New Yorker, Chicago Sun Times. I see one good review. I'm sorry, one okay review, which is a 3 out of 5 from the Independent in the UK.
But like we said, the critic review's bad, but the audience score's good.
I don't give a shit
3 out
about
of
the audience
5 is
score.
like the threshold for people. Like you'll see reviews where 3 out of 5 is a bad review, and 3 out of 5 is a good review.
To me,
Yeah, but
3 out of
Rotten
5 is
Tomatoes-
just average.
Yeah. What is that? It's like if it's above 50%, then it's fresh, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about for like mentally for people. That's like the threshold. Like some people will say 3 out of 5 is good. Some people will say 3 out of 5 is bad. But that's where it seems to be the change. Like if you go above that, everyone that's above 3 out of 5 is saying it's good. Below 3 out of 5, they'll say it's bad.
I don't really trust IMDb scores because if you look at
I think there's been like a concerted effort to say, oh, it just got review bombed. People are review bombing it. So you just can't trust anything on IMDb.
Yeah, because Captain Marvel definitely got review bombed.
well, yeah,
The Reddit discussion thread, I think the average for the Eternals was somewhere around 7.5 maybe.
Which is
I
fine.
checked
score.
earlier in the week.
the thing is like when you look at IMDb's scores anyways, I mean, their list of movies that you would probably be absolutely in love with, not very good scores. And their top rated movie of all time, though I totally agree with it, is a fantastic film, is the Stephen King prison movie. What's it called? Shawshank Redemption. Yeah.
The book of which is there, the orange one. and the DVD of which is just sort of below here.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
And
Oh no,
even
it's on
then,
that shelf. Sorry.
this is weird because if you look at the top rated ones, IMDb rating for Shawshank is 9.2, Godfather is 9.1, Godfather Part 2, which I would say is better than the first one, is a 9.0.
And then Dark Knight is also 9.0. The
Yeah,
DVD of
Angry
which
Men,
is
yes.
there.
The if you look here, I'll send you the link to the poll for Eternals and what people rated it.
That's interesting.
So a lot of people like 22.5% for 7, 22.5% for 8. Like a lot of people rated it 7 and 8.
The average.
Yeah, the mean is 6.5. You just had a lot of people in like the 1, 2, 3, 4 range, like 4%, 5%, 5%, whatever. I feel like the mean should be higher than that. It just doesn't look right. It's just, you know, you do a 1, it skews you much lower.
Yeah.
I can't believe there are, you know, out of what is this? Out of like over 2,000 people, 90 of them were like, this movie was a 1. I think that they're review bombing it
like,
there.
Even The Room has a 3 out of 10 on IMDb. For it to be a 1, it has to be unwatchable.
Yeah.
Like
not even like a B or a C movie yet. Those are like the Z movies that just don't turn out well.
Yeah, like how can a movie be a 1 now? Like, yeah.
Do I waste my money and go see it? That's the real question.
It's an MCU movie.
Yeah, you have to see it. I'm going to go see it at some point.
Yeah.
I'd go like on a Tuesday afternoon, but my wife wants to go see it too. So I got to wait for her to, you know, for both of us to be free.
Honestly, I can't help but wonder if it really just boils down to the fact that the Eternals is just not a very interesting team. That's the honest to God truth of it. Like, they're just not. Like, the Neil Gaiman's...
Tyler, why do you hate blacks and gays?
Yeah,
I am black and gay.
I mean, they made it work for Guardians of the Galaxy, and like, how popular is that? They didn't even do it with like the original team.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, well, no. The team that formed in for the movie is based off of the team that was created from the Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning team, which was from just a few years prior.
Yeah, but I thought the original team was the team that they formed at the end of the second movie with like Sylvester Stallone and
But that actually makes sense. I mean, the reason why is because those Guardians are from the future.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that team of
I don't care.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
No, I do. I just
No, it's okay. I don't care either, Josh.
You don't care about anything though.
No.
You're full of spite and cum.
Indifference.
Yeah. Speaking of Sean hating black people, let's talk about Black Panther 2.
Yeah, Sean's not indifferent about this.
No, he's not.
The first movie
Take it away,
was
Sean.
Overrated. I still liked it. Back down. Calm down, Tyler. Sit down. Put your fists away.
Listen. Let's talk about this here. No. I will go get it, and I will. I don't know. Zoom call shoot you. I don't know. Fuck.
He just shoots his camera and he's just missing.
Just to prove a point. I'm an American. Goddammit.
Oh, it looks like Tyler signed out of the meeting.
Go ahead.
Just saying
Cancel
that
yourself here.
Last year when we were in lockdown, me and my friends doing like a Zoom call, and one of my friends just got absolutely shit faced and spilt an entire glass of wine on her laptop, and she just froze. Like her camera just went. She like screamed, and it just froze her. Like
that's really funny.
And
please tell me you screenshot that.
I've probably got it somewhere.
I hope so. Share it with the chat.
I'll have to have a look for it. But yeah, it was just very funny, and she also spilled all over her phone as well.
Ooh.
And had to replace both.
That sucks.
Damn.
Yeah. She's no longer in our friendship group, so it's fine.
Yeah. Probably.
She couldn't afford to be in your friendship group.
No.
Did you kick her out because she ended up coming out as gay?
No, she started dating one of my mates and then they broke up and it was not pleasant. She was a bit of a psycho anyway.
You would say that.
You would say that about a woman.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Black Panther.
It was revealed that Shuri is going to be the lead for Black Panther 2. But going forward after that, a new Black Panther will be appointed.
It's the same problem I've got with Aquaman 2 with Amber Heard. I cannot support a movie with Letitia Wright as the main actress in it because she's a shit person.
Amber Heard going to be the main actress in Aquaman?
Yes.
It's not Aquawoman.
Yeah, but
that was a dumb joke. I'm sorry.
She's the co-lead, and in this, Letitia Wright's going to be the lead. And it's like she's just a shit person.
She is.
She's
I'm not going to be.
I know, but she's a good actress, though.
I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to defend her
just...
at all. Because you're the one who's been following her more than me. Let me see if I get this right here. Is it she's anti-vax, which is already a big no-no, but she's also a big transphobe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when she apologized for it, it was a backhanded apology where she was like,
it seemed more like I'm sorry. Being told to apologize.
But then she was like, but I'm entitled to my own opinion and allowed to share my own opinion.
Yeah, that's so hard to separate the artist from the things they say.
What did she say in specific?
I don't remember. It was like a year ago it started coming out. But yeah, it's like you had such a promising career and now you've just alienated anyone who supported you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's plenty of other people that, this is bad stuff to say, but like there are people that say all sorts of crazy shit and
but normally
their careers go on.
But that's normally they're reach a certain level of fame. I feel like someone who's just in the early stages of their career and they start spouting shit. And it's just
then she can probably weather this out.
It's
and be
the
like,
John Boyega thing.
Fine
it's
later
like
on.
I support John Boyega and I feel like some of the stuff he's experienced is valid. But it's like when you start speaking out at that early stage in your career is not going to last long because you're going to be labeled as difficult to work with.
I don't even think he's at an early stage in his career. Like he's
been acting for
my
a while.
age, I think. Like when did Attack the Block come out? 2014?
Earlier than that, I think.
I want to say 2011, but he was at an early stage in his fame. It was like Star Wars came out, then the second Star Wars came out, and that was when he started speaking about the racism at Disney.
When you see that this is supposed to be your big break, and then you find out that your part is being downplayed in China.
I agree, but
it's not just China.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
but
he didn't say anything wrong.
No, he didn't. But I feel like it damaged his career now, and he's been labeled as difficult to work with because of that.
Isn't he working with a lot of people in the future?
You're on the up and coming.
He keeps dropping out of products.
Squeaky clean.
He keeps dropping out of productions due to creative differences.
Really?
He's dropped out of like 3 or 4 in a row now.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And as much as it's horrible to say, I feel like he should just kind of... How do I say he should suck it up and just get through it without sounding like a dick?
Well, that's the problem, though, is that like... Yeah, no, I completely agree.
But at the same time, it's not going to change anytime soon.
Well, he did get a lot of attention for being a part of a lot of protests and being very vocal on social media. So
he's got a number of things coming.
Well, he hasn't really had a whole lot since Star Wars, but he was in a thing in an episode of a show called Small Axe, apparently, and something Naked Singularity, whatever that is.
Yeah, that came out this year in August.
Anyway, Letitia Wright, I feel like you're in that early stage of fame. Just kind of keep your mouth shut and get on with it.
Yeah, she's a bit younger too.
You know what? Okay,
she's probably like 24, maybe.
Okay. I feel like what I'm hearing from you, Sean, is John Boyega and Letitia Wright are not the same people. They have differing opinions. John Boyega obviously has a good series of opinions, and he has something that is definitely that needs the attention. Letitia Wright is posting anti-vax, COVID-19 is a hoax.
She's a piece of shit. He seems fine. But it's just...
But you're saying that because you are in such an important and big role, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot when you think that you can take that opportunity to just do whatever you want.
Especially when she's been famous now for 3 years. She's only really been known since Aquaman and Infinity War. Not Aquaman, sorry. Since Black Panther and Infinity War. And it's like you've been in 2 big movies and now you think you can just go around spreading shit everywhere. It's like, no.
I just looked up what she did. She posted a video on Twitter of a minister spouting a bunch of transphobic bullshit and how COVID-19 is a hoax. And I think it's the church she belongs to. I don't know. So that's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just asking questions is basically what she's saying.
And like
it's important to ask questions.
Like Chris Pratt's a member of like a weird church that has stupid beliefs, and he's not really going around in every interview being like, "Oh boy, I sure love my church. Here's what they say and everything."
Yeah. And it's weird too, because people are still tearing him apart for just like being a part of that. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't like his political views at all.
His political or religious?
It seems like you're kind of hating on these people for not playing the game.
I mean, are you hating on them for not playing the game, or are you saying like you kind of shot yourself in the foot? You don't have a whole lot of sympathy.
Letitia Wright, I think, is a piece of shit. John Boyega, I've got sympathy for him because he was trying to do the right thing, but at the same time, he didn't play the game and he failed because of it.
Mm-hmm. Thing is like, I'm inclined to agree with you. I just don't know, I guess, how to feel about it, because kind of like what you said, I feel like he has every right to say all of these things. And I don't know. I hope that in the future he gets more work, because he doesn't deserve to be blacklisted from Hollywood because he's saying, stuff that's true.
I feel like, I'm sure Denzel Washington in the early days of his career experienced a lot of racism, but he, as far as I'm aware, he kept his mouth shut until he was a big deal, and then he's kind of become a prevalent, like, outspoken person about it.
Did you see what he said when he won the Academy Award?
No.
He was holding it, and he was talking about how the only reason basically he was able to even get there and get that award was because he bribed a member of the academic panels. What is it called? The collection of people who like actually vote for
the Academy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
that's a thing that you have to do.
It was just a social experiment.
Yeah.
No, it's not a social experiment. He's not the only one who's done it. It's a pretty commonly known thing that, like, if you want to get awarded and you want to get the attention of the Academy, you got to fucking bribe them and go to like take them out to dinner and shit.
Yeah, I think I saw that in BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, well, they also talked about it in actually, what's that guy's name? It was on Truth
Entourage?
TV. And no, it was a Truth TV show. Adam Ruins Everything.
Adam Ruins Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Did a whole thing about it. Nonsense. Hollywood is racist. And
so John Boyega just needs to go to the Winchester, have a pint, and wait for this all to blow over.
Exactly.
Like, he's a good actor. I thought he was really good in the first Star Wars. He was really good in Attack the Block.
I loved him in Attack the Block. They're going to do a sequel, actually.
Yeah.
So the other news about Black Panther 2 was that Letitia Wright had some injury or something happened to her, so they were continuing filming without her doing the other scenes.
But now they've kind of reached a point where they need her back, so production is shut down until she recovers.
And then we saw that other leak or whatever earlier this week where it was like, was supposed to be like a text message between Kevin Feige and
but that was purely a joke.
Ryan
was
Coogler,
it a joke, or was it just an asshole?
Well,
just like...
it had to have come from, like, the idea that would have had to come from Ryan Coogler's phone, like a screenshot between him and Kevin Feige, like, we're gonna get this girl out of the picture or something like that.
Oh, I
like,
get it.
If your whole plan is to keep her out of the picture, you don't take a screenshot of your phone and then leak that.
Well, this is obviously a joke, because it says Kev Daddy and it says, I'm not having that anti-vax bitch fuck my film, jabroni. Just tell her it's delayed for some other shit. FR, like, for real. And then you just keep filming when she's not there. I don't know. I have a techie drop a prop on her foot or something. IDEK. By the way, bro, have you seen Zawalski's Possession?
Possession with Sam Neill, who's apparently Irish.
Yeah. No, I thought he was Australian.
No, he's New Zealander now.
Oh.
He is, but he was born in Ireland, so he has like, I don't know if it's one of those things where even if you're born in Ireland, you don't have Irish citizenship. But his real name is like Nigel something.
Nigel Neal.
No, I'm pretty sure if you're born in Ireland, you get Irish citizenship. I wasn't even born in Ireland, so I got citizenship.
But do you really? Is Ireland even free? Listen, we can talk about the Troubles all day.
But yeah, one mistake with this fake text message thing is it's got the messages on the wrong side.
Oh,
because the message is on from the person who screenshots it. In theory, should be Kev Daddy.
Yeah, but it's very clearly like it's obviously Photoshop. It's a joke.
Yeah.
it's a
But
weird
it
thing to
it
do.
made me laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
thought
do
you were
wish
trying to treat that as like a real thing at first.
I feel like so I'm hearing this correctly. So Shuri is still going to be Black Panther, but by the end of the film, she's going to pass it on to somebody else.
Seems like
Okay.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're like, we're kind of entitled to give you, a movie. We're already like this far into production and we can't change directions that quickly.
well,
But after that movie, we're going to kind of silently phase you out or something.
they probably have a legal obligation to give it to her as well.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure Marvel could just pay the money to get rid of her.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I'm
did
sure
that with James Gunn.
Yeah. And
but
then
to
they
go
brought him
back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a whole ass thing.
Yeah.
Should I talk about The Witcher really quick?
That's not real.
Go for it.
Like you can, but I'm sorry. Decoding.in is not a reputable news source. And these rumors started coming out last year and were disproven.
It's been disproven.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Previous rumors or this rumor?
You found an article on the most obscure site ever.
Honestly, it's because it popped up in my Google feed like randomly. They were like, it's my Google news feed. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I've never even heard of this website before.
So the rumor being that Henry Cavill was not going to be in season 3.
Yeah. Well, apparently his name wasn't credited in the script or whatever. I don't know. So, I mean, I guess they might have just like jumped the gun on that. Thank God, because I really don't want him to leave The Witcher.
Yeah, maybe he's just not going to be in that episode.
Who the fuck knows? Whatever. I'm glad it's not real. I actually just looked at the website and I'm a little embarrassed because it's a pretty fucking cringe website. Decoding.in. Yeah, don't go there. All right. Well, that's the news. Congratulations. We did it. All right. So is there anything else we should talk about before we wrap up?
Oh, well, obviously we had the big news of the week that we haven't covered yet.
Well, okay, hang on. Before you go into that, I do want to say we're going to talk more about this news in the next episode. So we're going to end it on something that's kind of sad, a little bit heavy. Do you want to take it? Go ahead.
Well, the writer, Scott Snyder, known for his Batman work, a load of creator-owned work, he was found dead outside a convention this week.
Was it
Wednesday.
in the alley? They found him stabbed to death, or was it just a single
with a
stab?
batarang.
There's been a murder.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
poor guy.
unfortunate. How old was he? I mean, he had a wife and a child. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't very old at all. It's very sad to see someone who was so talented struck down in the prime time of their life.
I just had his Wikipedia pulled up. He was 45. He's got a baby face though.
Yeah.
He does. Give me 1 second. I have something that I was going to pull up. Let me see here. Okay, so it looks like the body was, like you said, it was found outside of a convention. It is currently being investigated by a team of detectives. One, Christian Walker, was attempted to be contacted for an interview, but he declined to comment. So we're going to try to keep up with that as much as possible.
Did they say how he was murdered?
Yeah, batarang to the chest.
Yeah, a bloody batarang.
Jesus.
I know, a very ironic, very painful thing to see. Yeah.
To be fair, like
on Batman,
we all hated the Batman Who Laughs.
We all did, but I mean that's not enough of a motivation to to end someone. Now, this is following the strange news about Chip Zdarsky as well. Is he still missing or
still reported missing? Yeah.
Okay.
Did they find Brian K. Vaughan's body, or is he still missing as well?
No, they found his body.
Dead.
Yeah, he's confirmed dead. Unfortunately,
There's no more saga.
No, what? There is a very strange series of events going on.
They got it all plotted out.
Writers.
They've probably written all the issues. So Fiona Staples can carry on.
Well, here's hoping. But rest in peace, Brian K. Vaughan. Rest in peace, Scott Snyder. And Chip Zdarsky.
Still alive.
If you're out there, I wish I could be there for you right now. And
still missing, but he did a Reddit AMA last week.
Well, I think that's because he's on the run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. All right. Well,
there was one comment from
via Reddit.
Yeah, there was one comment from like you/kidnapper or angry murderer that was like, "Yo, Chip, where you at?"
That's not
So it looks like there is a website that you can go to make a donation for Scott Snyder and his family in the time of their loss. Let's see here if I can find it.
Page?
No, no.
I already give him enough money.
God, seriously. It looks like you can go to advocates.com and it should be popped up right on there. You should be able to see a list of.
Sounds like it'd be Donny Cates' website.
That seems like a stretch, but maybe.
Advocates.
Let's see if I'm double checking here. Yeah, it's the Devil's Advocates. You can also check out the Devil's Advocates book club. And you can go onto there to make a donation for this serious loss of life, this massive man in the industry who has unfortunately met an untimely end. And on that note, we will wrap it up here on this very somber note and say thank you for checking out the Cult of Comics podcast. If you're checking us out for the first time, thank you. And be sure to subscribe, click that like button, make sure you leave a comment, and please stop linking to the guy who keeps linking me to images where you're trying to sell me pictures of nude women. I don't need that. I have a way of accessing that for free. Please leave me alone.
I think that's probably like spyware. Is it just like a screen popping up?
No, it's just like a weird like .ly link on the YouTube channel. It's just very strange. If you are watching us on here, please make sure that you're subscribing to us as well on YouTube. You can check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all these podcast locations. It's thanks to Anchor.fm. You can go to anchor.fm/Cult of Comics. You can also check out our patreon.com. Both of those websites allow for monthly contributions. And if you do sign up for the Cult Special Supreme, you get to have access to our Discord server. You get to have access to questions that you can ask us on the show, recommended readings, all of these different things. But most importantly, if you make a blood contribution, we will start sending you some of my personal collection immediately, as well as one of Josh's children, depending on how much blood.
You know, the difference between the Cult Special and the Cult Special Supreme is that the Cult Special Supreme comes with sour cream.
You know what? You're completely right. Did we have that saved, or is that still, did that get thrown out?
It's in my fridge.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, excellent. And on that note,
a lot of culture.
Are you feeling like you've got a yeast infection? All you need is some culture. Come out and check out our Cult Comic Supreme Sour Cream. Thank you for checking us out. Have an awesome rest of your night. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated, don't be an idiot, and don't be a Letitia Wright. Don't be a transphobe, and understand that COVID-19 is not a hoax. I am not Q. Have a good night. Oop.
Oop. Oh, wait, are you from the Midwest? You said oop.
Oop.
Oh, just gonna slide right past you.
Oh.